Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Sons and Daughters of Liberty. Hope everyone's enjoyed their Monday. I'm getting ready to start my Tuesday. No, one thing, it is cold. I'm on my way home from work this morning. They're already, well, I can't see it, but they were already laying down the brine. I don't know if they're expecting weather. Drawback to my schedule is by the time I get up, I got enough time to brush my teeth, eat. Well, I don't even got time to eat. Basically, brush your teeth, get dressed, and it's practically out the door. So I don't get much time to check the weather and things. So, which I didn't think it was calm for anything, but just cold temps. But it is that time of the year. At least it's going to be a short week. One more night of work after tonight. Then I get to relax for like 5 days. I mean, it's probably a much needed 5 day break. But I do have some podcasts planned for the holiday weekend here. I do plan on doing doing a podcast with Sword.9 on his channel. But I also plan on probably upload one. It's not going to be a live stream, but I am going to do a broken systems video, discuss the judiciary system, how broken and flawed it is. I think while it's fresh in everybody's minds, good time to ha- talk on that, hash some of it out. Our judiciary system is very broken. It's following a few things in the news. I think some of the stuff that I'm been keying in on lately This stuff that's going on actually in Australia, Austria right now. I find that to be very, very scary, honestly. And with the administration we have in place, even more so scary. I mean, we already seen the vaccine mandate blow up our so-called president's face. You know, you always got to be wondering what's the next step. What's the next thing they're going to try to employ? And that's why I feel what's coming up in December is so important with our military. There's a deadline for them to have to get their vaccines in December. And it is kind of like I stated previous videos. That's more of a ploy to get those out who are loyal to the people, that are loyal to the oaths they take, why they serve. The one that they give them an unconstitutional order, they won't follow through. And I truly think that, especially in the National Guard scenario. I mean, we see the last couple of days what's happening in Austria. And I hate to say this, but it is just a matter of time before they attempt something like that. I mean, right now, yeah, we have a few states. It's not all the states. It's going to have to be more than half the states that put their foot down and completely abolish anything to do with the vaccine mandates. Just a few states here and there. That's not enough. I mean, they're key states, but it's just not enough states. At least I know a lot of people will be more soundly knowing that, the little mandate they're trying to push for January, they're they'll be at more at ease knowing that it's not getting off. No, I didn't know. That was one of those I didn't know what OSHA was gonna do. OSHA's always been one of those organizations that's hard to predict. And most people are, you know, I could sit here and do the pros and cons of OSHA and still be 50-50 on if there's an organization that's really needed. I mean, has been a lot of good camps come out of it, I mean, as far as work safety goes, stuff like that. But there's a bunch of BS that goes with it as well. And we live in a day and age where we see the push for safety ruin a lot of things. I mean, it's ruined football. It's most part ruined NASCAR. I mean, I get the need. Yes, we need safety, but there is a point where you go too far, and we witnessed that in football. They went too far with it. Now it's not even enjoyable to watch. But for football, a lot of sports, what ruined it for me was the kneeling, it becoming more politicized. Now, I can't remember which podcast it was. I think it was one of the Saturday ones with Bree and Sword Point. We discussed some of the old school professional athletes, some of the real Hollywood actors, and the roles they played during times of war, during World War II, Vietnam, enlisting, fighting overseas, giving up their potentially giving up their professional careers to defend our nation. There's still a few out there that serve or have served or are still enlisted, but it ain't like it was. Now it's more glorified. Oh, we're gonna play politics, get get a little extra money under the table. Especially with some of these people who their careers were washed up, and that's what some of these players are. They're washed up. So now they're just casting their lot into the media, now seeing which ones will bite on them for them selecting a different a narrative. Like I said, I'm not a fan of any professional player, celebrity, because they're just about as bad as our politicians. They'll sell themselves to the highest bidder and promote whatever that highest bidder is promoting, whether they believe it or not. Quite frankly, that's a disgrace. But I'll let you guys enjoy what view there is. The other interesting thing I came across, I think it was this morning after I got this morning or just last night when I was on break. I think it was last night when I was on break. Scrolling through my Twitter feed, the talk, how they were talking. They're talking about changing the name of sex offender to something less, how they put it, demeaning, I guess would be the word. I'm like, what? No, that doesn't need changed. There's one narrative I'm very, very sick of. And we've seen certain states, kind of pass laws like California, basically trying to make it legal, trying to desensitize it. There's nothing about that needs desensitized. Sex offenders are rapists, violent criminals. That if I gave you my truthful thoughts on the matter, I'd lose my YouTube channel and every other channel I'm on, platform I'm on besides the mine. I found that to be really, and I think it's funny because now it's coming because of you know the Rittenhouse case, because Rosenbaum was a pedophile, a convicted, 5-time convicted sex offender who the state said was more than likely to commit the acts again. And this was again, and he did this to children, the ages 9 to 11. So no, we do not need to redefine or change the name sex offender. Now, does that little registry needs fixed? Oh, yes, it does. Because there's actually non-sex offenders on the registry. For somebody that just happened to go take a leak out in their backyard or had to pee and out in the back room, pulled over to take a leak, well, that's indecent exposure. That will get you put on the sex offenders registry. There's a few other charges that are, what we consider a sex offense that would get people put on the registry. So yes, and that's part of the broken systems. They talk about prison reform and criminal reform. They don't do jack. What they do, I'm only going to highlight this subject for a little bit. Now, I'm going to save it for the broken system. But what they do, they strip anything out of the system, the prison systems, to rehabilitate. They strip all the education out, so they can't get an education. They stripped all the vocation out, so they can't be taught a trade. Why is that? Well, the simple answer is, the common sense answer is, they want them to keep coming back. They are like a commodity that puts money in their pockets. That is the major part of the system that needs fixed in that area. The other thing I'm sick of. I think a lot of you guys can relate. The BLM movement, all this so-called racism. But the one thing you never hear them bitch about, Black Friday. It's okay, Black Friday. That's why everybody was hitting the brakes. They don't seem to have the problem with that term. They have, it's like, but they have no problem calling white supremacists, blaming everything on the white people. You know, Ignorance is bliss. It really is. And it shows you the one-sidedness of the narrative. It's all political. And it's gotten bad. I mean, it's gotten so bad. This weekend, Jesse Jackson led a march in Chicago. And they were chanting communism at a Black Lives Matter protest march. I'm like, what? And that was, it was shocking to me because that'd be the last thing I'd see ever picture seeing that man's name tied to. I know a lot of people don't much care for him, but he has done a lot in the civil rights movements and stuff like that. I will give the man credit there. I don't agree with a lot of his stuff, but he has done some good. He is definitely no Malcolm X or Martin Luther King. Well, let's not even put him on those pedestals. But and to support communists and be chanting communist slogans during the Black Lives Matter march it was just the icing on the cake, honestly, to show you that their narrative isn't, it's only one thing, politically driven. They really don't care about it. In fact, probably most of them know that there is really no a small percentage of racism in this country. It's just fuel for politics to divide, manipulate people. And it's saddening to see, people think that way. Think that what they're being told by mainstream media, these career politicians that are trying to do nothing but destroy this country, and they believe what they say. I'm sorry, we're all equal. We're all American. We're all brothers and sisters. That's the narrative that should be being pushed. That should be the words from our politicians. If they really cared. We don't need critical race theory being taught in schools. We need to be teaching that, we're all Americans. We're all from various ancestry descents, and that we're all brothers and sisters. That's what needs to be taught. Real history of why all of our founding fathers migrated to this country. The idea of the theology of the American dream. Not critical race theory, not racism, not calling somebody a racist, a supremacist, the N word, but it's okay for them to say. Me personally, it's their freedom. It's freedom of speech, and anybody can say what they want. It's just a word. But if you choose to give that word power, then you choose to give someone control over you. Me personally, I'm not going to give anybody that satisfaction. Traffic sucks tonight. But you got idiots like that. We're all pretty much on the left wing doing about 75 and a 70. And the cops seem to be out full force. What else did I stumble across? Oh, yeah. Fauci running his mouth on another news show, getting paid. Making, he's making so much money off this, getting paid to go on these talk shows, talking about Thanksgiving, where it's okay if you're fully vaccinated and you got the booster to have Thanksgiving dinner with your family. But if you don't, you shouldn't be sitting at the dinner table and jeopardizing them. I'm like, what? I'm like, dude, seriously, you need to shut up. I tell you, here's how my Thanksgiving dinner is going to be. It's going to be around a bunch of people, family, and a few friends that are, some are vaccinated, most aren't. We're going to celebrate Thanksgiving. We're not going to argue about politics. We're not going to talk about vaccines. You know what we're going to be thankful for while we're sitting at that dinner table? Our freedoms of choice, our freedoms, our liberties. Especially, the family. We're all direct descendants of John Rutledge, founding father of this country. That's what we're thankful for. Not having some quack tell us, "Oh, you're not vaccinated. You can't. You shouldn't be at the dinner table. You're a threat." You're damn right. I'm a threat. He got one thing right. When you're trying to jeopardize our freedoms, our rights, our liberties, the very thing that our founding fathers fought for us to have. Yeah, we can argue back and forth the whole Thanksgiving thing. I'm thankful every day for a lot of things. I don't need, I've stated this. I don't need one day of the year to celebrate something when we should be celebrating those things every day. Because truthfully, that is part of the control system. Having holidays, it's a way to appease the slaves, so to speak. It's just another form of control. But I'm not going to allow that to be a negative thing on the holidays. We'll save that for a broken system or a hash down of caste systems, control systems. The holidays is supposed to be a time of festivities, a break from work, a break from the stress. Even though this time of year it's more stressful than anything, and it shouldn't be. We've got caught up in the concepts of Black Friday, the need to spend money, and we forget the simplicity of things. It's a time to be with family and friends, celebrate life, achievements, accomplishments. It's not about the gifts. It's about the fellowship and good times, being amongst friends and family. And that's what the holidays really are for me. It's about spending time with friends and family. People I don't get to see that often. New people that's entered my circle. you know, let our politicians, get involved. They want to destroy the name Christmas. You can't say Christmas, that's offensive. Oh, Thanksgiving's racist. It's like anything where we can get together, socialize, they have a problem with. And they do. They don't want us congregating. And if you don't believe me, and I'm never going to let you guys forget this, ever, the day all these pastors shut their churches' doors. No church door was ever to be shut. No temple door is ever to be shut and closed off to the congregation, closed off to those in need. But you let it happen through fear, lack of faith. And you get mad because I say this, you need to do some soul searching. In fact, you should be mad, really. Nothing infuriated me more when our government and our states shut down the places of worship. You wonder why how they were to was so easy to push the fear narrative. When you take God, higher power, whatever you want to call him or her, out, you just open the door for all types of problems. And I'm a firm believer of that. Because we, as human beings, for some odd reason, have to believe and have faith in a God or a higher power. I know I hear I hear the peanut gallery in the back. Do you have atheists? No, we do not have any true atheists. An atheist believes in something which therefore destroys the very concept of atheism. Whether it being that they are their higher power, higher supreme power of themselves, of their mind. So we're gonna just drop that one right there. And I know people in the past have taken offense when I said that, but it's the truth. And you know what I say about the truth? The truth hurts. The fact is, we allowed our states, our government, to lock us down, to shut things down, to tell us we can't go to our places of worship. But it was okay to go to the supermarket and Walmart as long as you was wearing a mask within these hours, stay socially distanced. You can't go to your places of worship. They have that right there was the nail on the coffin. One, clear violation of our constitutional rights. They would have tried to pull that stunt in the 80s, 90s, early 90s, mid to mid 90s. They'd have never got it off. Not even a little bit. And that's what why I say, what's happening in Australia, Austria, and other places. Germany starting to get ready to enforce stricter laws, penalties on the unvaccinated. We have a problem. We have a global problem. We have a problem that we need to kind of start paying attention to, make sure it don't happen here. The day we allow it to happen here is the day we give up our Constitution. It's the day they win. It's the day they finally are able to destroy our Constitution and take every last bit of our freedoms and our liberties away. They already seen they can do it through fear. That's why I talked about shutting down our congregations, our places of worship. How many senators, politicians do you hear oppose that? Yeah, I thought so. Like I said, this Thanksgiving and Christmas is what it's going to be about for us. I can't speak for you guys. And I get it. There is a division there within a lot of families about vaccines because it's part of the narrative. It's part of the control factor. They want us to be still in fear. They want us divided. They don't want the concept of us gathering as families, having discussions. They don't want us socializing in big groups. No, once they get their foot on your necks and your back, they're not going to let up. If they let up, they lose that control. Like I said, last week was a great week. We've seen a few things happen that was steps in the right direction. Big wins for us. But unfortunately, those big wins are just small ripples in the grand scheme of things because there's several steps ahead. They've got this plotted out, moves upon moves ahead. But we got to take our wins where we get them, and we got to keep building upon them. Truthfully, the month of November for us, we the people, has been a good month. We've won a lot of things in our favor, but we can't back down. We can't just become idle anymore. We got to keep pushing, keep fighting, keep having these conversations, these debates, these talks. Keep pushing back. We definitely cannot allow what's happening over in Austria, Australia, Germany, and several other countries to start happening here. Now, I've stated this last couple of podcasts. Because if we do, that beacon of hope for the whole world dies. And they've been trying to snuff out that beacon since the founding of this country. You know, the enemy is at been at our doors for a while. You know, what emboldens an enemy? When they sense fear and weakness, it gives them that power, that hunger, that makes them rabid. It really does. They're actually worse than a bunch of rabid dogs. I mean, keeping it all the way real, they're a bunch of psychic vampires feeding off that energy of fear, pain, loss. They got a taste. Now they need more. How much destruction, chaos, pandemonium can they spread so they can feed? Kind of a scary thought when you think about it, isn't it? I love how they still have this thing up, considering they're done with the construction up here. I know this morning when I drove by it, cop was just sitting on the other side of this. Well, I mean, as long as that's up and signs are still up, it's still a work zone. Talk about being dirty. So, what are you guys' plans for the Thanksgiving holidays? For the holidays in general? What are all you guys like going to be out there doing? Like I said, I know I'm going to enjoy some time with friends and family. Thanksgiving and Christmas is going to be spent with the old lady and her kids and her family. Be our first Christmas together. Looking forward to that. Especially now when she gets back next week from deployment. She'll be on leave for a whole month, so we'll actually have the whole month of December, not have to worry about anything. No, yeah, yeah, keep forgetting to announce the beginning. Even on the daily commutes, guys, my the chats are open. You can call in, or you can click the links that'll link you and allow you to enter the Gathering app or Jitsu app. it's gathering in my group of the minds. You don't have to join. You don't have to be a member of the group. The phone, basically from here on out, unless I state otherwise, if I do, the links won't be in the description. I won't have to state it. The the live the phone when I'm live, the call-ins are always open, especially like during the daily commutes and stuff. I can't see the chat, and even if I could, I wouldn't. I don't need a distraction while I'm driving. It's one of those things I'm still on the fence about. I enjoy the interaction within the chat room, to interact with you guys. But at the same time, I've actually gotten to where I like these daily commute talks. It's pretty much just like ramblings of the chaotic mind. Just my thoughts on whatever it may be. And now, really, truthfully, the morning one's more for me to stay awake. I do an evening one and a morning one. Although I don't know if I'm going to do a morning commute this week. We'll see. I have a few things I have to do Wednesday when I get off work. A couple things I need to get at the store. For Thanksgiving, but other than that, so I won't be. If I do it, it'll be on the way home after I get the running done. I know one of the big things I got to do is stop at the car wash and clean out the Suburban and get all the stupid grime off it that they just laid down today. That crap eats the hell out of the body paint. Shit eats concrete. Not a fan. Of course, I live in the north, so pretty much it's worse than salt, but just as bad. Keeping it all the way real. It's just like my Dakota. That's from I got that in North Carolina, so it never seen northern, really never seen much northern winters. But I bought it, and it's a '99. I bought it in 2015, I think. 2015 or 2016. Thing didn't have a bit of rust on it. One winter in Ohio caused it caused it to start showing rust. I mean, it didn't even have rust or on the hood and fender where it had two bullet holes. Well, one bullet hole with two exit where the bullets shattered. Don't ask. I didn't do it. It was like that when I bought it, but I know the story behind it. It was actually quite comical, especially knowing knowing who did it and how good they are, which again didn't compensate for the scope when they took their shot. But yeah, it's got some character. It's a good truck. I mean, yeah, I really, I mean, I 2 years ago, did put some money into it, put about $1,000 into it, and that was just a few things that needed fixed. I had to replace a rack and pinion, timing belt, gaskets, but other than that, that thing runs to this day runs great. Now, yes, it's up there in age and Ohio weather. Now I've had to slowly been having to replace all my brake lines on it. That's why it's been down was down for so long this summer. Because I blew a brake line while parked, getting it getting it washed at a car wash. Go to pull out, foot pedal goes straight to the floor. It's like, what? It wouldn't have been down so long if I would have done the work myself. But my dad said he wanted something to do. Yeah, probably wasn't one of the brightest ideas on my part, but I was working a lot of long hours. That's when I was doing the 13-hour, 14-hour days. And I'm like, oh, you want something to do? Go ahead. But he's up there in age now where that was the only reason I let him do it. Really. Normally I don't let anybody work on my vehicles unless it's my cousin. I'm not saying nothing about my dad. My dad's actually a great standing. He's up there in age where it's working on things anymore don't just hurts him. So but yeah, it only took one winter and I didn't drive it at all that winter. I think I may have drove it like once or twice. But that's all it took. It was just like the suburban. But it seems it's typical for all the Yukons, the Tahoes. They all seem to rust in the same spot on these vehicles. So I've got come next year. I've got some body work I need to do on this on the Dakota. But that goes to show how cheap the steel is now. They don't make things like they used to. They really don't. See, this is a 2001. So this is 20 years old. I mean, for the few spots where it's rusting, the body's still great shape. It just needs sheet metal cut out and refabricated back on. No, I'm not going to bondo it. I'm going to do it right. I'm going to cut and fabricate the sheet metal and re-put sheet metal back on it. Not a fan of bondo. It works, but this thing runs great. I can get figure I can get probably about another 10 years out of it. There ain't nothing wrong with the undercarriage. It's still pristine. So is the Dakotas, believe it or not. That's because in North Carolina, they'll coat the undercarriage with oil when it gets close to fall and winter. It helps prevent it rusting out. And that's something I tell people, especially the day and age with YouTube. And if you want to learn something, any type, you want to learn how to fix your vehicles, then you should. I mean, there's some things where, yeah, like me, there's some things I won't do. That I will take it to a mechanic, which my cousin is a mechanic, so. But people need to learn. I mean, I've met kid teenagers that don't even know how to change a tire. Learn the basic maintenance of your vehicle, how to change your oil, change your brakes, change your plugs, wires, coils, filters. Just knowing those things save you money, and it prolongs the life of your vehicle. There's always that classic debate of Ford, Dodge, Chevy. They're they're all gonna last however you take care of them. You don't keep up the maintenance, they're not gonna last. And the fact is, as they get older, they're gonna need more maintenance. Things will need replaced. That's why a lot of people don't like having older vehicles because they know it's gonna be problematic to the wallet. It's just like when I do brakes. I'll go to AutoZone. I'll get pads. I'll change out my calipers. Pay $10 more for the caliper for a lifetime warranty, so I never have to worry about my calipers. They go out. And I start doing that with all the parts and stuff that you can get lifetime warranties on when I got to replace them. but more people should. They should learn how to do routine maintenance to their vehicles. And like I said, this day and age, shit, don't need a Chilton, don't need a mechanic for the most part, for most things. You can sit there and watch fine videos, and well, a lot of these guys will walk you step by step on how to do it. I mean, I grew up out in the garage, tinkering and working on things, but I also learned how to cook, bake. To you young men out there, that might not be one of the better ideas. I think that's what made my bachelorhood so long. Is the fact, well, I don't need a woman to cook or clean for me. I know how to do all that. Yeah, I don't know. Looking back on it, I don't know if that was probably the greatest thing I ever learned. Well, I'll tell you the truth. It is cooking's my meditation. As long as I'm not doing it for profession, which I have. I used to have a sous chef license. I'm actually a really good cook when I want to be, especially now living in the apartment while Sarah's deployed. I love my weekends. Sit there, cook, be able to cook a meal. So, I can't do small meals, but it's good because I don't have time throughout the week to cook. But like I said, by the time I get up with this 2 hour commute, it's time to leave. So I don't have time to cook a meal, make a sandwich. Barely have enough time to throw throw pop and snacks in my lunch pail. It was like today, I was, got less sleep because I had a package that's supposed to be delivered, which, you know, it was right when cause I was already had lunch pail packed. I'm like, come on, you guys said told you I'm not leaving at 6. You ain't here. I don't, you're going to deliver it tomorrow. Yeah, they showed up right around, I don't know, 5:30 ish, a little after 5:30. So, I was already dressed and boots on. When they knocked on the door, I was putting my belt on. But yeah, these on the weekends, like I said, I've been cooking my own meals. Getting back. It's relaxation and meditation for me. So far, I haven't screwed anything up with some of my experimental playing around with seasonings and stuff. I know I made chili a 2 weeks ago. That was, oh my god. Wish I would have wrote down the recipe, or at least wrote down how much seasoning I used, which that would have done me no good because I eyeball it. It was so good. Actually, I wanted to make some more. Spaghetti I made this weekend came out amazingly because I don't normally make my own sauce. I normally just buy ragu or pregu. I'm like, you know what? I want to make my own sauce. I want to make spaghetti the real way. And wow, I shocked myself. The only thing I am not attempting to cook is a turkey. I just got a ham that's simple, easy. Either I can put it in the oven or I'm going to actually slow cook it. Use some Jack Daniels. That's one thing I can cook ham. I've never cooked a turkey. And quite frankly, I'm not a big turkey fan anyway. Don't get me wrong, I love it. It's good. You just get burnt on it. And plus, since it's just me this year for Thanksgiving, kind of pointless cooking a bird and having all that. First, I wouldn't have to worry about food for about a week. I haven't decided if I'm going to do a podcast Thanksgiving. I kind of usually do. So we're going to play that one by ear this year. Like I said, I've got a family dinner to attend. But other than that, we'll leave Thanksgiving up for debate for right now. I usually do, but since I'll be traveling, like, there's no difference in what I'm traveling right now. It's the same. So I do because I am starting to miss that little 9-minute drive to work, my parents' house. But like I said, we'll see on the Thanksgiving one. But there will be a few this week, and it'll probably be my last week of streaming for a little while. Like I said, Sarah will be back the following week, and we'll just go from there. First few weeks, it's definitely her time. And like I said, December we both got a lot of things planned, so it's not gonna leave me much time to stream. Still, I'll probably keep the daily commutes going though, because that's well, when she's not chauffeuring me to work, which I'm not gonna complain about. 2 hour drive by yourself, quite boring, honestly. Really, it's the morning commute that some by midweek kills me. That's when I am really wore out. That's when I really feel the 11 hour. Like it's 4 10-hour days, but I put in a little about 11-hour days. I show up about I don't know. I'll clock in tonight at around 8:40. You know, not supposed to start till 9:30, but being a scale operator, I like well because I use the first shift guy. He leaves at 5:30, and the one line don't actually stop production until the last parts are coming out around 5:45, 6. So I usually come into a bunch of stuff at the scales. But the other reason I do it because it's like 3 hours overtime every week, which keeps me above the $500 paychecks. This week's paycheck's gonna suck because I missed a day of work last week for being still dealing with this upper respiratory infection. And I'm out of sick, basically out of vacation time. So I think I only had like 2 hours left. The only thing that sucks about the 10-hour days is now it takes 10 points, 10 hours for a vacation. So we only get 2 hours a week if you don't miss no days. You didn't notice as much when it was only 8 hours. You had to, I don't know, you had 2 hours to it, and it's like a chunk. I know next month I can't miss a single day. I don't like having, I can't say it's that bad. I think I'm only at 2 points. Oh, crap. But 2 points, for somebody that don't really miss work, and I really don't. This is actually the first since I've been there. I've missed last year. I missed a day. for being sick. So yeah, like I've only missed like 3 days, 4 days of work in the almost 3 years I've been there. This year just sucked because I got sick like 2 weeks after I got did the quarantine with the upper respiratory infection. Then like 2 weeks after that, I had a lymph nodes get infected and left side of my jaw swelled up like a softball. Then last week, respiratory infection that just see sometimes taking the doctor's advice doesn't work. They had me on a breathing treatment, which I did, and an inhaler. Well, he told me on the inhaler, just once you feel better, stop. Don't need to be using it. Just use it as you feel you need it. But so I stopped using it because I felt good and wasn't bothering me. But sure enough, after about 2 weeks of not using it, and a lot of that, and because I called him like, hey, what gives? And he's like, and like he said, well, a lot of it's the hours you're putting in. You're not getting enough sleep through the week. And he just said, go ahead and use the inhaler for like a week. I'm like, all right. Basically told me repeat the same process as the last time. Try to get more sleep. Like, yeah, it's not going to happen. It's bad enough I sleep my Fridays away. I literally do. By the time I get home, I make it a point to do my running, get all my running out of the way, grocery shopping and stuff Friday. So by the time I usually get to bed on a Friday, it's 2, 3, sometimes 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So I'll wake up at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning. It's here lately. It's been like 2 o'clock in the morning, like clockwork. No alarm, no nothing. But Friday gone. By 6 o'clock in the morning, I already got the house cleaned, laundry done. Usually stuff pulled out for whatever I'm going to cook that day. Or sometimes I've already got dinner done by 6 o'clock in the morning. The life of a third shifter, let me tell you. There's been a lot of traffic tonight. Of course, it is, holiday weekend. A lot of people are out and about getting their last minute stuff from the stores that they need for their meals. Tomorrow, especially tomorrow and Wednesday is going to be a lot more traffic because people are going to be start leaving and traveling. And for everybody that's going to be traveling, you guys be safe. Like I said, yeah, I am going to be traveling, but it's no different when I'm traveling right now. It's same amount of time, pretty much. I should have done this live podcast last night. You guys could have got a view of the moon. It was beautiful last night. That's probably why. Damn, it's 29 degrees already. It's only 7 o'clock, 7:30. Yeah, it's gonna be a cold one tonight, especially because it's clear out. I can see start to see the stars. It's definitely a clear skies, which usually allows. Usually, when we get clear skies at this time of the year, and especially during the winter, it's definitely gonna be cold nights. I'm looking forward to the winter, though. I'm ready for snow. I say that now. I probably won't be so inclined when I'm doing these 2 hour commutes in crappy road weather. It don't bother me. I grew up driving in the winter. I mean, obviously, birthday's on December 14th. So yeah, I definitely grew up driving in the winter. And back then, we actually got snow, freezing rain. We used to get a lot of freezing rain around here. I remember a couple times back when I had the Camaro, to where I had to be at work in the morning, and I'd take my mom to work. There was one morning, man. Oh man, we didn't even make it to the S curves by our house. There was already 3 people in the ditch. I'm just moving right along in the Camaro, like there's no ice on the ground. When there was about 3 inches of ice, that was a bad ice storm that day. Like I said, winter driving don't bother me one bit. I grew up driving in this. Definitely gonna have to check the forecast though, because they've laid a lot of brine down. Usually when they do that, they're anticipating some weather. It'd be nice to have a white Thanksgiving. No, like I said, I love the winter. I like going out cross country skiing. It's one of my more favorite times of the year. What I love about it, I think I stated this, but I love the Christmas lights, especially when there's snow on the ground. A lot of people are starting to get their Christmas lights up around here, so the evening commutes will be kind of cool here next few couple more weeks. Usually right after Thanksgiving, a lot more people have their stuff out. Just like uptown, the courthouse, they've already got all their Christmas decorations out, the lights up. They just haven't turned them on yet. That'll make some nice viewing for you guys. Who knows? We might just do one night, do a or one day just do a not a commute, but you know a podcast. We're just going around looking at the Christmas decorations, the Christmas lights. I think that'd be cool. Different, unique for a different podcast. I know the other thing I got to do, I might do it in the morning. I need to clean these windows, the insides. I know the other thing I got to do, guys. I need to stop at the gas station. I'll be right back. I need to get some cigarettes. Sorry about that, guys. I forgot to grab cigarettes in the morning when I got off work. I guess it worked out. I was able to get a sub, so I'll have something to eat. Like I said, this week's been weird though. Short week, 3-day work week, then having to go in on Sunday. Normally I don't go. Normally tonight's my first night back at work. Like I said, it's 4 days a week, 3 days off. But it's gonna be nice to have that 5-day weekend. Then in December we'll have that week shut down. Christmas through to New Year's. Which is gonna be great. Because honestly, after that, we won't see another holiday until Memorial Day. That's really the only drawback. To working. You really don't get, other than Memorial Day and 4th of July, you kind of look forward to Thanksgiving and Christmas for time off. I mean, it's like me. I really haven't used my vacation. Well, what vacation time? It's gone. I haven't used my vacation time for a vacation. I was trying to save it up for the week of the shutdown. That way I could get a full check. That ain't happening this year. But all the vacation time I build up, I've used for moving, dentist, eye doctor, friend's doctor's appointment, hospital visit, and the 2 days I used for moving fell under my quarantine. Then then 3 days for being sick. So it's like I haven't. Did all work? No play. Like I said, I've got over 370 hours overtime. So yeah, I'm looking forward to a 5 day weekend. Then our Christmas break. Another thing I want to talk about before I end this stream, since we're kind of talking about the weather and cold weather. If you guys haven't, it's a good idea. I mean, I keep a bag in the both vehicles, and I switch them out every season. So summer, spring, when it gets around spring starts warming up, I'll switch things over to summer gear. Get your winter gear around. Toss a blanket, a nice heavy blanket, some of those cheap thermal that some throw some thermals in there. Keep a hoodie or sweater, extra set of gloves. One of these days I'll have to pull pull it out and actually show you what's all in mine. I keep some ramen noodles, some tunas, a couple protein high energy protein bars because it's important to keep your carbs up in the cold weather. Keep an extra blanket. I actually keep a blanket in here all year round. Because you never know. Getting stranded in the winter is far worse than the summer. Having a breakdown or you end up in the ditch. I mean, I even keep chains in the truck and in this one in case I have to pull somebody out or whatnot. I keep a couple extra bottles of water, which is kind of pointless during the winter. But what I do with those, I keep I'll keep 2 bottles wrapped up in my wool socks, then wrap my thermals around them so they tend not to freeze. But if it gets cold enough, like it did last year when we got down to what was it, -22, and that wasn't with the wind chill, everything froze. So, but most instances, keep your couple water bottles like that. They don't tend to freeze. And the other important thing, make sure you keep your vehicles all topped off. It's important that, especially during the winter, my dad preached this. the whole time I grew up, and he made sure every vehicle was full. Don't let yourself get to a half a tank. If you're at a half tank, top it off, because that's your heat. That's longer you can keep your vehicle running, shut it off to keep warm. I mean, me with the Suburban, I don't let it go past 3/4 of the tank. Mainly because I got a 50-gallon tank and gas prices 3/4 of the tank is about cost me about $25 to $32 to fill up. But it beats $80 at a half a tank. But it's just like those little things like that. I mean, my grandfather used to do it. He always kept a backup stuff, clothes and stuff in the vehicle. You never know. Just like me for the most part. When it gets start like temperatures like it is now, I layer. It's a lot easier if you start getting warm to strip something off than freeze. And that is the thing. Once you start getting warm, you do want to strip items of clothing off because you don't want to be sweat. Sweat's not your friend in the winter. I mean, just like now, I'm like very warm because the heater in the Suburban is, oh my God. That's the luxury I don't have with the Dakota. The heater in that thing sucks. It usually isn't getting warm until you're almost at your destination, which is another reason why it usually sets there in the winter because, But once it finally does get warm, it actually has a good heater. It's just, it takes forever to heat up. But guys, kind of ran out of things to talk about a long time ago. So I'm going to head end this one a bit early. Like I said, I'm not sure if I'm going to do the morning daily commute Wednesday or not. So with that said, I want to wish everyone a happy holidays. Enjoy your Thanksgiving. Enjoy your freedoms and liberties. Be safe for all of you traveling. Be safe. For all of you that's going to be out drinking, use a designated driver. And I will see you guys on the next podcast, which I'm not sure when it's going to be. Not sure if it's going to even be on this channel. Like I said, I have plans to do one with Sword Point 9. Want to do one with Free Spirit Prepping and News. I haven't done one on her channel in a while. And like I said, I got a few things, a couple podcasts I definitely want to do. Like I said, the one probably is going to be recorded and uploaded for the broken systems. we're going to talk about our judicial system. I don't know. We might do that one live. We'll see. That actually might be a fun one to do live and get other people's opinions, views through call-ins or guests joining us. So I'll think about that one the next few days. But yes, there will be a broken system coming, brand new broken systems coming out. Been long overdue. For those that have actually got those haven't checked those out, you might want to check them out. I got a playlist created just for the broken systems and the Great American Deception. Some really good videos on those. Definitely worth listening to, especially the broken systems one, the very first one where I talk about the caste systems. It's important that you guys understand that first most and foremost, because that helps break down each system. Helps break down a lot of things we discuss here, honestly. But with that said, I want to wish you guys all a good night. My work night's just starting, so you guys be safe out there. Enjoy the rest of your week. I will see you on the next one.